and then I'm going to start recording. All right. So first thing on the docket are some reviews. So Super Mario RPG is what I got to start with here. This game, I don't even remember what the release date was, but it's been a hot minute. It feels like 30 years. Feels like 30 years ago.
The original.
The original feels like 30 years ago.
I think it was 1996, so you're coming up
Close.
on 30 years.
Okay.
Like 27.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has been a long time, but like people have been. There have been echoes of like let's remake this game. Let's get this back, and they finally did it. It released yesterday. The reviews are an 84, which is great. It's a good review. 84 is a good review score. Obviously, there's a lot of passionate Super Mario RPG fans, so I personally would love to play this at some point. And I mean, obviously, I haven't read through every review, but it just seems like it feels like they did a good job.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, everything points to they did quite a faithful remake of Super Mario RPG, obviously with updated graphics.
Yeah.
And a few more bells and whistles. They did an updated soundtrack, but you can also play with the original soundtrack if you're a big fan of the original and just want to go back to the original. They add a few more bells and whistles to the combat as well. But overall, it's quite a faithful remake of Super Mario RPG. Even the updated art style they went with looks very much like the older game's art style, just like obviously 3D and like high resolution and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I have never played the original Super Mario RPG. I mean, I never owned a Super Nintendo. And also, and I've never played it like emulated or anything like that. I know a lot of people played it that way.
I mean, yeah, you at this point you're probably emulating it.
Yeah.
At this point you're emulating it.
But yeah, it came out. The game came out yesterday. The remake. I did get it, and I will play it eventually. But I'm still working on that. Next on my list is Persona 5 Tactica, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah, we're about to get to that.
And then I'll probably play Mario RPG after that. From what I heard, it's not very long. It's only like 12 hours or so.
It wasn't long before.
To get through. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it wasn't. It's
wasn't
just like
before.
an old school RPG thing. The one thing I'll hope is that, this does well and Nintendo brings back the sort of Mario RPG type games where you had this, but then you had Paper Mario became the sort of Mario RPG series for a couple of games, and then they made Mario and Luigi, which was on handhelds for a long time. But we even haven't had a Mario and Luigi game for a while, and maybe they'll revive that series or another Mario RPG type series on the Switch or the next Switch that is rumored or whatever.
Whatever that is going to be, whatever it is.
Because generally they're fun games. They can be fun. They can be funny also. Sometimes some funny dialogue and stuff like that. So yeah. So good remake apparently.
Yep. Yeah.
Nintendo does not miss really very often.
Yeah, Nintendo really doesn't. Well, with their first party, their first party games
with their big IPs, they really don't.
They don't miss. They put a lot of heart and focus into those. So yeah, there's Super Mario RPG, and then Persona 5 Tactica, which got a 78 here. Again, not a bad score. It's not a bad score at all. I don't even know what I expected, but I don't think it was 78. But yeah, I think 78 is a perfectly fine score. I think if you're a Persona 5 fan and you happen to like style of game that this is going for, I imagine you're just going to play this anyway.
Yeah.
I did see some of the art style in the game. The like little, I guess, chibi.
They went for this like style? They went for a chibi art style in this game.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but for this, but you know what?
It's not for everybody. I think they've done a good job. Like, it's not my favorite art style either, but I think for having chosen this art style, I think it looks quite good.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
no doubt, no doubt.
They've done a good job with like the character models. They look really like expressive and like they're nice. So.
Yep, but I don't have anything else to add. This, I'm not gonna go for this. I think 78's like a perfectly good score, though.
I mean, it's a spin-off.
Yeah.
Atlas loves milking their properties like
I mean,
to no end.
Yeah.
But yeah, supposedly it's a pretty fun tactics game. It's a little different.
Did you Spectrum? I think we got a Spectrum because I think Spoon froze here, and I don't think it's me. Okay, well, Spoon got Spectrum, so I don't know what to say. He got pretty hard Spectrum here. Let me just double check the Discord. Yeah, Discord technically still in Discord. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we'll circle back to this one. I'm gonna wait for Spoon to come back. I'm gonna circle back on this one. I want to talk about Call of Duty for a second too. Apparently, this Call of Duty was the lowest rated Call of Duty ever. Actually, I think this got absolutely garbage reviews on Metacritic or something. Was it Metacritic? I don't know. But anyway, this was the lowest reviewed Call of Duty ever. So I just wanted to also comment on that. Are you back from Spectrum? Nope. Wait. We're
Spectrum.
back. Kind of back. Okay, we're kind of back. We can go back to Persona now that I've said this is the worst rated reviewed Call of Duty ever.
Spectrum is powerful.
Yes, it is.
I think I'm back now.
Okay, you are 100% back. I'm hearing you. Never mind. What camera's going on? It's crazy.
Spectrum's doing something special right now. I'm not quite sure.
Well, I can hear you. You look fine. What anything else to add for Persona 5 Tactica?
I was saying that, supposedly it's a pretty solid tactics game. It's a little bit, it's kind of like, it's not quite XCOM, but like Mario and Rabbids maybe is the most applicable comparison in terms of tactics games.
Sure.
Cover based. You only get three party members for each battle, so pretty small squad.
Yeah, that's really small.
And the gameplay revolves around like knocking enemies out of cover, and then if you hit an enemy that is not in cover, you get a one more, which is a thing in Persona, where you get another turn basically if you down an enemy that's out of cover. And then the all-out attack in this game is called the triple threat. Basically, you can like draw a triangle around an area that has a downed enemy in it with your 3 party members, and then you get like a big like AoE attack in that area. So that's kind of like the basics of the systems. It looks pretty cool. I've heard some of the the reviewers said, from what I've heard, the story is like pretty decent too. It's got some twists and turns and stuff like that. So if you're a fan of Persona 5 and don't mind tactics games, at least it's probably worth a look. Yeah, I mean, but if you haven't played Persona 5 or are not a fan of Persona 5, this probably there's really no
you're not
point.
Going to do it.
Because also, like, if the events of this game happen after the events of Persona 5, and there's probably going to be some spoilers for the main game. So
sure.
I wouldn't, if you're planning on playing Persona 5, I wouldn't play this before you play Persona 5. So, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Like I said, I have nothing to add. I just mentioned this is the worst reviewed Call of Duty ever. I don't need to say anything else. It was the worst. While you were Spectrumed, I just wanted to make sure that was known. This is the worst reviewed Call of Duty in Call of Duty's history. I don't have anything else to say on that. I was just talking about that while you were Spectrum.
We talked about it. We talked about it already before.
Yeah. It's awful.
It's just cobbled together because they only had like 16 months to make the game or something like that. And
let me see if I can find. There's like sequences where they show each of the characters' gameplay here for Suicide Squad. So this This is like it was a 20-minute video, and it's just titled Suicide Squad Insider 1 Story and Gameplay, obviously alluding to more within this series, for this Insider series. They talked about the story more at the beginning. I'm skipping that for now because I don't think they shared anything that you didn't know already. You know that it's Suicide Squad versus the Justice League. Okay, that's all you need to know. The main antagonist, according to what I've seen so far, is Brainiac. Brainiac, obviously, I'm just going to guess, does some kind of mind control on the Justice League, so Suicide Squad's going to kill him. There, you've got the story. The first part of the game that I'm also skipping through is apparently they have to go find the Penguin, who's Oswald Cobblepot, because they need to get better guns. So now that I've caught you up with the entire early sequence here, I just wanted to show some of the gameplay. So the gameplay should look quite familiar. I mean, this is pretty much what you've seen in the last Suicide Squad videos. One thing I feel like they did a little bit of a better job showing here, and I'm hoping I can get to it soon, is I think it's more of the differences on the characters. I don't know if that's because they really were checking the feedback from the last video they put up some time ago, but there are just obvious differences of how the characters do move now compared to what I had seen previously. We'll just say 6 to 8 months ago. I'm doing my best to jump to it. So like Harley uses like a grappling hook, but the style of gameplay, they actually do start showing it at some point in here. You have to get past the penguin crap. Okay. So here's where they show some of the gameplay. So obviously guns. Everybody has guns, okay? I've already said my piece on the guns, everybody having guns part. But the style to which that they utilize their ranged and close combat does look different enough to me now where I'm like, okay, I can see the differences from the characters. Like, yeah, Harley's using a pistol, which isn't actually that out of character, but she uses the pistol and then goes in to hit him with the baseball bat. You know, Captain Boomerang's got an SMG, but he also has his boomerang that he uses to like maneuver around the battlefield. Okay, like that's definitely that's a little bit more of what I would expect from this character. Just using the boomerang as more of like a juggling tool. He juggles characters and then uses like a shotgun. So it's like it's a little bit different. Everybody has like a juggle, I think, but like you can see now that there are like, okay, like this is just a different set of movement you would see in combat from this character compared to King Shark. So like they show King Shark in here, he's jumping around, but then he has like a super jump, and then he does like this, you know, this kind of attack where he flies in from above and slams the ground.
Big slam move.
This is kind of what I was expecting before. I was like, okay, this guy should not just be pulling out a machine gun and only using that. He should be like going in melee, ripping people apart, slamming the ground. I'm not saying he's the Hulk, but like I kind of expected that kind of thing. More physical, like gameplay. Yeah, he's got the big gun, but it seems like now he's using the gun and then he comes in and throws in some melee. Like that's what I expected. And they talk about, you're not hearing it, but there's like some like obviously super powerful moves that each of them can use. And then here's Deadshot. So he's got like a rocket to maneuver around, but you know, now he's got Deadshot's just all guns, which again, this is what I expected. He has like his wrist guns, and then he's just using those with his combination guns. Like this is all what I expected now. So now I'm going to pause here. Now that I've watched this, I have more faith in this video game now. From what I've seen, I have this much more faith. I don't know if that's actually what I'm seeing is different from what was there before. But I think they did
it looks the same to me.
It looks the same, but they at least showcase that the characters are different.
Yeah,
which is what I wanted them to do before, and they didn't do that. So the other thing I want them to do is not have a battle pass. That's the other thing, obviously, that I don't want them to have. I just don't think they should have that for a single player game, but they didn't talk about that, obviously, which is good.
I don't think they will talk about that, because people were not happy about that aspect of the game. And, yeah. They said they were going to have a bunch of like free updates and like free DLC after the game. They did say that, but who knows what else. I'm sure they're gonna try and monetize it post-release in some way.
I'm fine with it. Like, I just don't understand a battle pass in this kind of single player game. I don't understand it. Yeah, that being said, again, I didn't want to talk about it for too long, but I have a little bit more faith now that they've shown me that the characters look different. Before, I was like, these characters all look the same. There's no differences. And now I'm like, okay, I'm seeing it now. I'm not saying it's great. Obviously, there is more I want. I think this the movement. Obviously the movement. It's fine. Like, they're just flying around all over the place. Whatever. But the characters at least look and attack differently compared to the videos that I saw before. I just saw a little bit too much of everybody's using a gun.
Yeah.
I think that was my problem. It's like everybody's using a gun. I'm starting to become less interested and all that. So yeah,
it did look like before in the earlier trailer before they really explained it that like everyone was kind of like jumping and flying around and shooting things.
Yeah, which they're still doing that, but now at least I can see. Oh, Harley has a baseball bat, and she's gonna use like guns and baseball bats to like she's like a mid to a close range character. Okay, King Shark got some powerful melee. Like, you want to go in. Got it. You still have the big gun, but like you want to go into melee. That shot I expected with guns, so nothing there. And like Captain Boomerang's got like a lot of crazy maneuverability with the boomerang. Sounds good. Like, that's cool. Got it. They're all different. So my faith is renewed a little bit. To the point where I think I'm more interested in trying this game closer to like when it releases.
Yeah.
Love to see more. The story. Oof. Gotta hear this says story and gameplay. I'll be honest with you, there wasn't really much on the story front. I told you it's like Brainiac has mind controlled the Justice League. And then they talk about
mind controlled like everybody in Metropolis
it's
Metropolis into a freaking war zone.
Yeah, it's Brainiac. This is what he does. He's like a super cybernetic being, ultra intelligent. This is what he does. So, and then they're like, yeah, we need better guns. Our guns suck. Let's get better guns. Okay, go see the Penguin. The Penguin has guns. He's an arms dealer. And I was like, okay, there's not a lot there. You didn't give us a lot for the story, to be honest. You kind of just told us everything we already knew, besides they need to get more guns, which I was disappointed in. I was like, you could have said more. You definitely could have said more here. I feel like all you said was everything we knew before. So the only thing I think was a highlight here was seeing the different characters in gameplay. So definitely happy they did this. Hope when there's a couple more, hopefully I'll try and tune in and see them. But yeah, given this game is coming out in about 2.5 months here.
Yep.
I'm definitely back to interested mode. I'm back to interested in like keeping up with it mode, as opposed to I was super turned off. And I'm hoping I don't know, like I like these like DC kind of games. I just love them. So especially the Batman Arkham games. I know this isn't a Batman game, but this kind of stuff is very fun. So
yeah, this game, it's not generally a type of game that's like really up my alley. It does look like pretty enjoyable to me. The problem is for me is, as I talked about previously, the release date and all the JRPGs that are coming out around it. There is just no time for me to play this.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I think Persona 3 Reload is coming out either on the same day or within like a day or two of this game.
Sure.
So
I mean,
yeah,
I think they did the right release date. I think they picked a release date where no other major games that happen to be in their vertical are. JRPGs are not in their vertical, so
no, they're not.
They don't really care. I think they picked the right time.
They don't care about Persona 3
exactly.
Reload releasing on the same
They're probably
day.
like, we only care about Final Fantasy. So they picked early in the year, which is I think the right strategy for this, given they did this massive delay. And they picked a time when there wasn't really, that I know of, any other releases that are going to block it or cause it to be in conflict. So I actually think the release date was a good call for February 2nd. But yeah, for anybody that happens to be interested in JRPGs and then this, yeah, you're shit out of luck. You're probably just gonna stick with the JRPGs because there's more of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this. I'm back to like before. If there was a spectrum, I was all the way and not interested. I've moved up over here, which is like I want to keep up and be a little bit more interested. There's like a point at which I would play this like when it releases, and I'm not there yet, but like I'm getting back there after seeing this. But they gotta tell me they've decided against the battle pass or something else. They gotta tell me that. Obviously I wouldn't use it, and I don't. But like, it's just like, why'd you do that? Why would you do that? Besides money. Okay, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Next thing we have is Indie World. I already mentioned this before the podcast, the Spoon. I have nothing to say. I think indie games are great and all that. I just didn't really see anything that was down my alley in here. I imagine there definitely are going to be some folks who watch this and are like, oh my god, yeah, lots of very interesting, cool indie games. Nothing in here really sparked any interest from me. So that's all I have to say. I think for all those indie games, I think it's cool to have these, but you know, sometimes there's like one or two games that get me to at least like take a second look, but I didn't see anything in here that sparked my interest. So that's what I have to say.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm kind of in the same place. I'm not a huge indie player. I do occasionally play them, but yeah, there was nothing in this that I was particularly as excited about either. I don't know what you want to like, just like seek through it a little bit and just mention a few things.
Well, I did see there was a new Shantae game in here.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there was Shantae. We started with
another
that.
game called Core Keeper, which to me, I mean, obviously when you look through these, I'll just like play through some of it. So looks like just some exploration into a dungeon. Yeah, I imagine there's probably going to be some puzzle aspect. But then I saw this, you know, maybe there was something else to it with like, I don't think farming is the right word, but it looks like, as you can see, there's some kind of town management going on here. So that was what I saw from this one. And I'm not like super, I like some of these games like Stardew, things like that, but I don't know, like I'm not like super heavy into getting all of them, you know.
Yep.
On Your Tail. So
this was a detective game.
Detective game. There you go.
Could be interesting.
Howl. Interesting art style, I will say. Definitely an interesting art style.
Yeah, cool art style.
Yeah, very cool art style. Kind of an interesting gameplay, like the way that it visually looks. So that was one thing that stood out. But beyond that, I don't know. I think there's definitely people that would be interested in this, though. Like for sure, yeah. for certain people. And then we have a star named EOS.
EOS. Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the beginning actually. So I don't know. Like I said, I scroll through these and I'm like, okay, like we got a detective game, maybe like a town management game. To me, this one's very interesting because I'm just like, okay, like we're taking pictures. It also looks like the gameplay doesn't even, you just like cycle through various locations. Like you were in a bedroom there and then now we're somewhere else. I don't know. To me, I wasn't super interested here in the star named EOS. Next we have Backpack Hero.
This game's been out a while. This is just a Switch port.
Yep.
This is a roguelite. It's a roguelite game.
We have Blade Chimera, which is just, I mean,
side scrolling action game.
It's a Metroidvania side scroller kind of game. I mean, those are, like I said, there's nothing wrong with these, by the way. It's just like nothing here caught my eye when I was watching this. A Highland Song. Interesting little adventure here that we're having.
Yeah.
Again, I think these can be like fun games. Definitely things that are interesting for people. Just like a fun adventure kind of experience. Moonstone Isle. So here's Moonstone Isle. Oh, we get some
Cardos.
turn-based RPG, but with cardos. Some cardos. And some, from what I saw there, a little bit of like, I call it town management, like whatever the actual term is. I just like town management. So, you know, I again, like there's nothing wrong with these. But yeah, if you're interested in like some kind of little bit of light turn-based RPG with some town management, that's definitely a good one. Death Trick Double Blind. That's a name. This one also is
another
mystery. Yeah, another mystery detective game. Again, for me, you know, I think this is, you know, perfectly fine. Obviously, a little detective game. And then we have Outer Wilds. God. Archaeologist Edition. Outer Wilds, obviously, I know of.
Came out a few years ago.
Yeah, it came out some time ago. And then there was just this, like, quick roll here.
Yeah.
Planet of Lana. Little side-scrolling adventure here happening. Enjoy the Diner. Enjoy the Diner. This one's like, that's a super interesting style. Man, that is a super interesting style there. Heavenly Bodies. What an interesting game.
Yeah.
Gecko Gods. Hell yeah. Always want to play as your gecko solving puzzles.
Play as a gecko.
Passepartout to Urban Myth here. Again, cool art style.
Yep.
Very interesting art style there. Braid. We've actually seen. Why do we keep seeing this? We see a lot of this game, by the way. This Braid series. See a lot of this.
Braid is like a
super
old school indie game.
Yeah,
a lot
old
of people
school.
Like they keep like remaking it.
Yeah, man. They do. They're remaking it a lot. But yeah, we scrolled through Indie World again. There's some cool stuff in here, no doubt.
Yep.
Just nothing down my alley personally.
Yeah, same. Nothing I'm particularly interested in. But
Yeah.
I think it was a decent showcase. Just not for me, really.
All right. I'm gonna stop recording and restart it. Okay.